Do you struggle with intrusive and lustful thoughts? Is your brain so hypersexualized that you feel a slave to your thoughts? You feel a victim to the beautiful women, the beautiful reality of this world that we all live in? Can you not navigate social interactions and settings without being trapped in a slave to lustful and sexual thinking? Well, men, if that is the case, then stick around, because in today's episode of The Rebuilt Man, I'm going to reveal with you the 7 steps to conquer lust forever and desexualize your brain so that you can walk around in the world, in reality, at coffee shops, at gyms, at public places, and not have to feel like a slave to these lustful thoughts. You know, it's been my experience over the last 5 years of coaching and working with men, helping them overcome pornography addiction, that the act of quitting porn is pretty easy. If a man has enough grit, if he has enough willpower, enough perseverance, he can go extended periods of time without looking at porn. But what happens is these men don't do the necessary work underneath the hood to change these thought patterns, to change the way they view and think about women so that they can live and experience real freedom. And you can go long enough white knuckling this, but this is not walking in freedom. And eventually you're going to throw in the towel and you're going to say, F this. These thoughts are too much for me to control. I might as well act out. And this may be the case for you. Maybe you're watching this right now. Maybe you've had some success in removing porn out of your life, but you feel like a victim and slave to your thoughts everywhere you go. The lust is controlling you. So I'm going to walk you through these 7 steps here, men, so that you can not just remove pornography out of your life, but you can begin to walk in real and absolute freedom, no longer slave to your mind and to your thoughts. For those of you that don't know, my name is Coach Frank Rich, founder of Rebuilt Recovery, host of the Rebuilt Man podcast. We have a free and exclusive community, the #1 community in the world that helps men conquer pornography addiction. You can join us. I linked it down there in the show notes below at skool.com/the Rebuilt Man. But the 7 steps to conquer lust, this should come at no surprise. Step #1 is you have to stop watching porn. In the language of my great friend, Dr. Trish Lee, rewiring your brain, rebooting your life, desensitizing yourself from explicit content and material is a 2-step process. We must unwire the old patterns of behavior, the old thought patterns, and rewire new ones. And this first step is us being proactive in that unwiring process. Realize and recognize that the thoughts that you have around women right now are a byproduct of your behavior for years, perhaps decades. When you sit behind a screen and sexualize, when you sit behind a screen and objectify beautiful women, the byproduct of that is your brain has been trained that when you see beautiful women, you attach lustful sexual thinking to it. Your brain is nothing more than a prediction learning machine. What you feed it, it will produce down the road. So by cutting off the behavior of over-sexualizing ourselves, we take that first step in conquering our lust. So we must remove pornography out of our life if we're truly going to conquer this and conquer these thoughts. #2 is I recommend doing a complete digital detox. This will just be a follow-up to that first step. Get off the social media apps. Take a 30-day detox from Instagram. Take a 30-day detox from explicit matter on YouTube. Take a 30-day detox even from Netflix. You may have to go as far as even changing the type of music that you listen to for a short period of time. And I think what you'll realize is the social media, the apps, the smartphones have been the gateway to the bigger drug, which has been your issue for a long period of time. Detoxing yourselves from these apps brings joy back into the little moments throughout the day. You don't feel like a zombie. You don't feel exhausted after hours and hours and hours of mindlessly scrolling social media. And we all know that these apps want you hooked and addicted. So they're going to feed you, whether you want to consume it or not, the type of material that is going to keep you in this lustful sexual thinking patterns. So step number 2 here to conquer your lust is to do a full 30, 60, 90-day detox off of all the social media apps. Number 3, through this process, avoid triggering based environments. Know what type of environments. Just going to the gym at 5 o'clock after work when it's jam packed and women are basically walking around in bathing suits and underwear. The right place for you to be right now. I'm not saying you need to be a monk. I'm not saying you need to avoid these environments forever. But once again, are you willing to sacrifice in the short term for the longer term goal that we want? Where are you most triggered? What times of day? And begin to build boundaries in your life. Step number 4 here. This one's going to be unique, I think, and not something that is often talked about in this environment, but it's having a gratitude practice. Think about it. If every single morning before you embarked upon your day, you spent some time in prayer and gratitude, thinking about all the things that you're grateful for, thinking about the opportunity for the day to control your thoughts, to conquer this lust. It changes how you see those scenarios where you may be triggered. It changes how you see the woman when you, in the past, would have objectified her. Maybe by practicing gratitude, now you have a moment to express gratitude for her. You know, we had a member inside of our community for a long period of time. He stuck around even past the 3-month program. And he was in the music scene, lived in Brooklyn, spent a lot of time out on the streets, beautiful people all over the world. In New York City, people know that. He would tell us one thing that he found a lot of success in doing. Instead of when he saw a person objectifying them, he would practice gratitude for them in real time. It was almost this reverse objectification. You see a mom walking down the street with groceries, express gratitude for her. Say a small prayer for her. Man, you're such an amazing mom. Your kids are going to be so grateful for the dinner that you're going to make for them. So having a gratitude practice built into our day is a powerful tool to reshape and rewire our mind. Number 5 is self-reflection journaling. This is something I teach our guys to do every night. Spend some time at the end of every day thinking about all the things you've been thinking about where you conquered the lustful thinking, thinking about where you need to make some course corrections, thinking about where it could have gone a little bit differently. Recognize yourself for those moments. Acknowledge yourself for staying off of porn. Reward yourself for succeeding in your digital detox. Begin to become your number 1 fan in your life. And congratulate and acknowledge the growth that you're having in this process. Number 6 here is to begin to ask better questions about the people that you interact with. When you're ordering your coffee at the coffee shop, when you're checking out the groceries at the grocery line, ask interesting questions about the person you're interacting with. Those of you that have gone through our program know that in week 6, we coach the single men to go out there and interact with single women non-sexually. What are their interests? How's their day going? Begin to interact and see people as people, not as objects. This must be something you're intentional about doing, and then over time it becomes natural by nature. So begin to ask more interesting and better questions about the people that you interact with, engage with on a day-to-day basis. And number 7 here, you cannot conquer lust until you know what a man that has conquered lust looks like. So realize that there's a gap from the person that you need to be and the person that you currently are today. Who is that man? How does he think about himself? How does he think about others? What does he do on a day-to-day basis? What are his habits? What are his routines? What time does he go to bed? What time does he wake up? What does he consume? What does he not consume? And once you're clear on the vision for that man, focus on becoming that man every single day. Create a clear, vivid vision for the person that you can become if you were to conquer lust, and make it your intention, effort every single day to chase becoming that man. That man doesn't watch porn. That man avoids triggering environments. He practices gratitude. He has daily reflection journaling. He asks interesting questions to people that he engages with. But I would say start with number 7 and number 1. They cohesively align with each other. But focus on who you need to be if you're going to live in absolute freedom. 7 steps here, gentlemen. Stop watching porn. Go on a digital detox. Avoid triggering based environments. Have a regular gratitude practice and a regular self-reflection journaling exercise integrated into your life. Learn to ask better questions of the people that you engage with and focus on your growth and development and becoming the man that you need to be. Trust the process. If you've been consuming porn for 10 years, this isn't going to happen in 10 days. If you've been consuming porn for 5 years, this isn't going to happen in 5 minutes. Be willing to sacrifice, set your aim on the man that you're becoming, and in time, brother, not only will you be walking in freedom, you have a clear and present mind, one that enjoys the little moments and enjoys the little interactions. Guys, like I said, join us inside our school community. It's school.com, skool.com/a rebuilt man. I linked it down there in the show notes below, but your host, Coach Frank Rich here at the Rebuilt Man. We love you guys. See you in the next one.